After months of spewing the pro-Hamas propaganda, in my view, after months of barely covering what's been taking place in Israel, after months of story after story about Donald Trump this and Donald Trump that, that was at the top. And so the editor-in-chief really need to show you what took place here, that there's the pro-Israelis going after the pro-Palestinians in a violent, violent act. And even Fox played it. This is the kind of media we're getting. Let's take a look at what took place at UCLA. Something quite horrendous. A young woman was beaten unconscious. Joe Biden hasn't said a damn thing. Others have said, and they're right, if these weren't Jews, if they were Black Americans or Asian Americans or Hispanic Americans, Joe Biden would have a completely different response, wouldn't he? Wouldn't he? But not when it comes to Jews. What does that tell you? Well, it tells you what I've said, but nobody else wants to say. Joe Biden's an anti-Semite. That's what it tells you. Why is that so hard to come to grips with? I mean, it's horrendous, but he is what he is. Go ahead. Once again, imagine this being your daughter. Look at her, beaten unconscious.
Stop pushing me! Stop pushing me!
You're restricting my movement right now. This is false incarceration. This is false incarceration. I'm allowed to be in here. I'm a journalist, credentialed. Okay, this is public property.
Look how they're surrounding him. Look how they're pushing him up against the wall. Look at this. We've got video of this and 1,000 other things, and not a word from Joe Biden. Nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, here we go.
Well, this is what they do to media.
Look at the mob.
Earlier, they let media in there. That's one of the guys, and they allowed them because they said they're part of it. So apparently, no free press here exists.
We don't allow aggressive media.
If you guys push me off, you're fucked.
You're the one.
So what's happening here, ladies and gentlemen, before we start the clip again, is there's a counter movement of Israeli supporting students who say they have had a hell of enough of this and that we're going to deal with this encampment. We're going to take our campus back. And so here we go. Go ahead. There's more of it. I noticed there's a site called Mediaite, which was founded by a guy named Dan Abrams. You may have seen him on ABC. I think he's on One Nation. He's the Jerry Springer of cable, though, when it comes to courtrooms. He's produced those shows. So he really lives in multiple worlds in this schizophrenic life, where he wants to be taken as a serious news person, a serious legal analyst, and yet he also supports these clown operations. And one of them is Mediaite. And people send me the link to this site all the time. I go to the link, and what do I see at the top? What you just saw, but more of it, that was played on Fox. And what does this guy, Colby, I believe his name is, what does he say? After months of spewing the pro-Hamas propaganda, in my view, after months of barely covering what's been taking place in Israel, after months of story after story about Donald Trump this and Donald Trump that, with occasional, story or clip that shows the other side, because this is how they operate. It's a whole propaganda scam. That was at the top. And so the editor-in-chief really need to show you what took place here, that there's the pro-Israelis going after the pro-Palestinians in a violent, violent act. And even Fox played it. This is the kind of media we're getting. This is what's going on. It's not just the usual media organizations. It is the offspring, the same mentality, spinning tales, trying to influence social media. That's why I call them out all the time. I call out Drudge, who is a sick little bastard. That's why I call out Media Matters, which is a Soros operation. It has as its purpose to destroy Fox, as George Soros now is trying to buy up all the major talk radio stations to destroy conservative talk radio, including my show. Because these people are Marxist Islamists. If they're not outright Marxist Islamists, they give them aid and comfort. That's what they do.
Want to see more? Sign up for Levin TV.